so
My man,
annoying.
I love him so.
Yeah.
He'll
He's such a dick
never
sucker.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
So we've got, this is of course, an iconic Juggy narration.
Yes.
And he's sort of talking about like feeling normal, going back to like being a kid and like going crazy and
Just
having fun.
teenage loss of innocence.
Yeah, in the midst of the Jason murder fiasco.
Yes, yes.
And so we're getting these like flashes of this crazy rager party that's going on.
Yeah.
While he's talking about this.
Yeah. This party looks cray.
Like, I need to be there.
Like, I need
Why
to be
wasn't I
there.
invited?
Because not only are Betty, Archie, Ronnie bumping it
at the GoPro party.
Cheryl's tonguing Moose.
Cheryl's tonguing Moose in a fur coat. She's probably drenched in sweat. And then we have finally another shirtless Archie.
And we get so much of it this episode.
Like, why was he gone for so long?
And thank God he's back. I don't know if this was just like 2016, but the rubber animal heads.
Yeah. And you know they smell rank in there.
Just wet.
Wet,
just
fungal.
Wet. Just, ooh. And covered in beer.
And
yeast.
Hormones.
A yeast infection of the ear.
Oh, yes.
Come off it.
What you know about thrush?
What you know about thrush? But we don't see Jughead in this little flash forward.
So we're like, how did we get here? And
How
it's
did
sort
we
of like
get
the
here?
end, you know, the beginning of Ratatouille where he's like, hey, I bet you're wondering how I got in this situation.
Yeah,
it's that.
Very, very that. Very, very that.
So then we just sort of are like, okay, we're going to let this lie. We'll come back to it.
Come back.
And we go to the Andrews house.
It's like the morning, getting ready for school. Juggy and Archie are having their little Wheaties at the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm. And Fred is going out of town to finish the divorce.
Archie is like, what if you didn't get divorced?
What if you returned
with
my
mother?
and I went with you.
What
and
if
we
I
just
came with you to Chicago?
We just all
and
had like such a fun little fam time.
Happy family with Juggy.
And we're returning to normalcy.
And Fred is like, hey, so
it's been 2 years since
your
she
mom
left
2 years ago. We've been separated for 2 years now. I think we should get divorced, Arch.
Yeah,
I think
like
that's
your mother left it on me to explain all this to you.
Yeah,
like
that's why. Yeah, because.
So he's like, sorry, Fat Chance, and Archie's like, ew, okay, that's gonna make me crash out.
Yeah, so Archie
freshly broken up with.
And freshly preyed upon, now losing a mother figure for realsies.
Yes.
She's already been separated, but...
And instead of commenting on this, Jughead's like, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't do anything about it because I fucking hate my birthday.
He's so not like other boys.
No, he's not.
Like,
he's so edgy. He's so cool. It's just another day where everyone just pretends to be
happy.
Normal.
Yeah. Everyone pretends that everything's fine and that I should be happy. And Archie's kind of like, that's just how Juggy is.
So hands off. I'm not doing anything about this.
For once, I'll be hands off Juggy.
No, exactly. Normally I'm hands on, hands around, hands up and down.
Hands in.
But, well, keep going. So then we get a little Pembroke flash.
A flash at the Pembroke.
And we're introduced to Paul Sourberry.
Oh, it's Hiram's lawyer. Mr. Lawyer Man has come to town to kind of prep the Lodge family to testify on behalf of Hiram.
Exactly. And he's like, listen, we're not asking you to say that he didn't do anything illegal. We're just asking you to say he's a stand-up guy.
Like, you were just asking a character witness. Like, just say, like, how much you love your dad. And
like, how good of a life you have.
And, like, yeah, how much he cares for you. Like, that's all we need out of this, Ronnie. And Hermione's like, yes. Like, please, 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 please. And Ronnie's like,
no way.
He made his bed. It's time for him to rot in it.
No, exactly.
And I'm like, well...
And well, yes.
Kinda. Because so you may remember, Ronnie's freshly off of the ripping the pearls from her neck, apologizing for Ethel's dad's attempted suicide because of Hiram's loss of crazy money mafia shenaniganery. So Ronnie's like, I don't want anything to do with him right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, well, she isn't wearing her pearls.
No.
She's wearing different chokers and such,
yes,
but
chokers and such,
but no pearls.
No pearls. So she's off to school.
At school, we get a little blip. Alice, she's advising the blue and gold because she has nothing better to do.
Well, she was infamously fired by her low-life husband, Hal. So
now she is indeed taking them up on Betty and Jughead's up on their offer.
Crazy
offer. To have her advise the blue and gold. Yeah. And Principal Weatherby was like, yep, sounds good.
Totally chill. And, I mean, I guess.
Like, sure. And then we get Betty. She finds out through Archie that it's Jughead's birthday. She had no idea, even though they are dating.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my God, I want to make it, like, special for him. I want to show him that I care. And, like, we can't just, like, ignore his birthday. And Archie's like,
no, we should.
No, we should.
No, like, we should.
Like,
to...
he's never had a birthday party. And, like, that's how he likes it. Every year he goes to a double feature at the Bijou. Usually I'm his movie-going buddy. But this year, I think you should, Betty, because you're his girlfriend. Oh, so Archie was the
girlfriend.
Anywho's
it. And Archie's like, do not fucking throw a party.
I just wanted you to go to the movies with Jughead, and now you're trying to make a big fuss. And she's like, he's never had a birthday party.
We need to have the inner circle.
We need to have the inner circle. Keep it tight. A cake, a little song and dance.
It'll be great.
And
Archie's like, this is the worst idea I've ever seen.
But
and then across the cafeteria, Val gives him a dirty look, and he's like, actually, this is the best idea I've ever heard.
Actually, I could use a chance to lose my mind.
So actually, yes, Betty, let's definitely go against his wishes and throw a party.
Which
for him,
Archie,
it's for him.
It's for him. It's not because I've lost my mom and my girls. So Archie's losing it.
Yeah, and might I say,
he's trying to self-destruct.
Everyone in this episode is messy.
Oh,
every single person.
Trust. Speaking of messy, who is returning to the Riverdale High cafeteria?
Mr. Chuck Clayton.
Boo.
Boo. He walks right up to Ethel Muggs. And
His
he's
victim, Ethel Muggs.
And he's
Betty,
like, I'm sorry.
Betty starts freaking it.
Oh, yeah.
Betty starts freaking it on.
She's trembling. And she's digging those nails in that palm.
Digging. We have not seen her dig since episode 1.
Full force. Bam.
The sight of Chuck Clayton preying upon Ethel, she thinks. So she digs. She sprints over to the table and she's like, Chuck, get away from Ethel. What are you doing here? And he's like, I'm apologizing. Right,
Wouldn't
Ethel?
want you to go all Dark Betty on me.
Wouldn't do all Dark Betty. This is a public place. She's like,
shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. And Chuck is like, everyone knows why I got suspended. Everyone knows what my crime was. Like, I'm already been aired out, but
like, what about you?
Kind of silly that like no one knows you've gone dark, Betty. And
well, she's losing it.
She's losing it. She returns to the table, I think, at this point.
Yes, and she's obviously perturbed. And everybody's like, hey, you cool? And she's like, yep, everything's great. Everything's fine. I'm awesome. Can't wait to throw this party.
Yay! She had this large idea for Jughead's party to make it special. She's trying to get FP involved. She tried calling, and FP was like, hate that. Juggy doesn't like celebrating his birthday. I don't know. I don't think me showing up as a surprise. He doesn't like surprises. He doesn't like birthdays. Betty confronts FP and is like, you will be coming because it would be special to Juggy.
And he's like, you're not going to let this go, are you? And she's like, nope.
He's like, you don't give up easy, do you? And she goes, rarely if ever.
So he's like, I guess, respect the drip. I don't know.
Yeah. Respect the balance.
Like, and then we're off to the Pembroke.
Because Ronnie's sleuthing.
Oh, yeah.
She's going back through the lodge accounts.
And she has found that who was making payments to Lodge Industries for 75 years? How she looked through 75 years of records, nobody will know. The Blossom family.
The Blossoms. Because she was tipped off this morning at school by Betty and Archie after Archie did his recon Cheryl Blossom maple tapping, discovered that the Blossoms are why Hiram got put in jail. Now, this payment plan seems, as you said, to be spanning generations. And if it was suddenly cut off for any reason, it seems like Hiram could have a motive to get back at the Blossoms. We kind of touched on this last episode at the end, but now Ronnie is like, oh, shiitake mushrooms, my papa may have murder-kensed Jason.
Oh, yes. And Hermione is like, well, we're not going to bring this to the lawyer or anything because then it will just look like Hiram killed somebody. So, sorry, good work, but no.
Also, are you any other thoughts on being a character witness? And she's like, this makes me want to be with him less. Like,
yeah, like, sorry,
no.
he seems implicated in murder. Like,
yeah, it's getting really like to be a lot. So maybe no.
Maybe no. And then fresh off this interaction, well, she goes late to Vixen's practice.
Oh, and if you're late to Vixen's practice,
Cheryl's gonna have your ass.
Cheryl's gonna have your ass. But Ronnie now is like, low key, the Blossoms maybe sent my dad to jail and have like a bunch of blood money with my father.
So maybe I'm not gonna listen to you because you're just a Blossom.
Yeah, huh.
In
maybe
fact,
if you try to get my ass, I'll get yours.
So maybe let's have a dance off and see what everybody says.
Let's see. This is a cheerocracy. Let's see who really should have complete control of the Vixens.
Who should be the new HBIC? Then we get the dance off. Now I don't know if anybody else was aware, was in the culture at the time. This was all over my Instagram.
Oh, trust.
The practice behind the scenes all over my Instagram.
Oh, trust.
I was obsessed. I learned these dance moves. I have since forgotten them. I wish I could do a little performance for you, but I cannot.
Oh, how obsessive.
Oh, how obsessive.
The entire cheer squad, all of the Vixens, Betty, Tina, Ginger.
The rest of
them. They're all looking. And Ronnie goes first, and Ronnie is eating
She's
up.
eating. She's twerking.
She's eating up the floor.
But
she's clapping.
Just so we're clear, she's doing it with a tasteful amount of energy. We are not doing too much here.
That's true. That's true. She's doing exactly what we need her to be doing.
Yes.
Yes.
Cheryl, on the other hand, looks like she's dissociating and is flipping that hair all over everything.
The hairography, it's Glee season 1.
The hairography episode? Yeah, everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it.
Sorry.
Everybody knows it.
She's on the floor. She's doing floor work.
Floor work.
At one point, they're side by side doing choreography together. How do they know
arms.
It? Who knows?
It's giving like improv. It's giving yes and.
And I'm thinking, okay, they're side by side. They're gonna like work it out, make out. Like we're cool.
Well, yeah, but
no.
The
no
music
such luck.
Cuts.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
And then we get a little vote, and Betty's like, all those in favor of Cheryl? No one.
Oh. Cheryl fans, make some noise. Make some noise.
It's silent.
Silent.
Nobody moved.
Ronnie noise.
Including Tina and Ginger.
Ronnie fans, stand up.
Everybody's making noise. Tina and Ginger, hands down.
They abstained.
They recused themselves.
Ronnie officially won the Vixens.
So I guess she's the captain now, and we'll see what that means.
HBIC. Don't hold your breath to see if that has an impact on anything coming forward. But she won the dance battle. She kind of like stuck it to the Blossoms.
She's the people's princess.
Prince like Diana. Betty's like, nice.
That's my girl.
That's my girl. So they kind of like skip off into the distance with the entire Vixens trailing after them, leaving practice.
Leaving practice because they had practice for 5 minutes while this dance-off was happening?
Yeah,
sure.
Sure. And then Cheryl turns on Tinter and Ginger.
And she's like, oh, you whores.
You absolute heathens. You are not worthy of being my minions.
Yeah, so you're off the Vixens, and well, you're barred from being my minions, so bye.
Bye.
And I honestly think this might be the last time we ever see them.
I think
she has effectively kicked them off the show.
And the power of Cheryl Blossom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Cheryl is like... Cheryl's losing it. You'll remember at the end of last episode, she was already losing it because Archie spurned her.
Really losing
now she's lost the one thing that she's been fighting for this whole season, the Vixens.
So it's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
Not looking good for Cheryl. We're setting up for Jug's party, and Archie gets a call from Fred.
Yes. Fred is in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Fred is talking about like seeing Archie's mom, and he's like, we were gonna have dinner tonight, but we've decided it's probably best if we just meet at the courthouse tomorrow.
Like with the lawyers. And Archie's like, oh, because you guys can't talk without lawyers present.
Without a mediator. And Fred is like,
and Fred's like, listen, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like I'm
we're
sorry, it's
doing
happening.
our best,
yeah.
but we also want to move on. Like, we need to like live life, breathe air. Somehow, I know we're gonna get there.
And it's gonna be so wonderful.
And Archie's just not hearing that. Archie's
He's
just not
really
hearing
not.
that.
He's really not. And so he unlocks that liquor cabinet, grabs a bottle of something, and
dark liquor.
Yeah.
Dark Archie.
Dark Archie. And well, he starts pounding that shit.
Yeah.
So
at like 4 p.m.
Yeah, we're gonna see that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll circle back to that.
We'll circle back.
Meanwhile, what does Cheryl do with all this anger?
She pops on over to, Pops, and she struts in.
Looking spectacular, by the way.
Looking amazing. Walks up to the counter, spots a milkshake already there, pops the cherry right out of it, and takes a sensual bite. Whose milkshake?
Whose milkshake? She goes, are you ready to cause some chaos? Chuck.
And so she's
yeah.
like, I hate you, but it seems that the enemy of my enemy
is my friend.
Betty and Ronnie, you know, the people that we hate, they're going to be throwing a little soiree tonight.
For that weirdo Jughead.
You want to start something, Chuck?
And Chuck's like, oh, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. A public event?
We're causing chaos.
We're causing chaos. And you'll remember that Betty's intention was always inner circle.
So
it seems like I don't know how Cheryl found out about this party.
Probably just how she finds out about everything. Somebody spying for her in the student lounge.
this. And without Tina and Ginger now, she might have to do some more spying of her own.
Yeah, she might have to take matters into her own hands. And wow, how beautiful they are.
How beautiful they are. But I'm sad. I'm sad that Ronnie and Cheryl are fighting because they were so close.
Yeah,
for
they
so
were.
Long.
The girlies are fighting right now.
The girlies are fighting, and that is the theme of the episode.
It really is. Then we get to some more Veronica situations.
She's actually going to the legal office of
Mr. Sourberry.
Mr. Sourberry.
Which, by the way, it's not spelled like you think. It's like Sower
like
berry.
The berries you sow.
Like, yes, we're sowing berries.
We're sowing berries.
Sour berries, perhaps.
Sour berries.
But don't worry, it is pronounced sourberry. Just in case anybody was worried.
In case anyone was wondering. So she goes in and she's like, hey, I know my dad is like likely involved in a murder somehow. So I really don't want to like testify for him. And Sourberry is like, okay, so you know about that, cray. Okay. But it seems like Sourberry already knew. So it seems like
Sourberry
Hiram is
already knows. Yeah. He's like, okay, and like your mother said, we are not going to say that because it implicates him in the murder.
Yeah. And Ronnie's like, well, low-key, what if I did?
And he's like, oh, that's interesting you say that. I have something from your father for you. And shows her a letter. And well, the letter is the first direct confirmation we have from Hiram himself that he is a piece of shit.
Yes.
He sends a letter and he's like, so, heard you weren't going to testify for me. I know you're going to make the right decision because, well, your mom isn't as clean as this as she says.
Yeah.
So, unless you want your life and her life to go up in flames, I would suggest you testify for me.
If you want your mom to go down with me, Ronnie.
Go ahead, by all means.
Yeah, wreck her life too. Do you love your mom, Ronnie?
Seems like you don't.
Seems like you don't.
It's crazy manipulation.
It's a
and she's
wild letter.
Freaking it. And Mr. Sourberry is over there like, that's my man.
That's
like, it's so annoying.
Man, I love him so.
Yeah.
He's
such a dick sucker. Know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not in like a gay way. Like in a groveling kind of way.
In a groveling way. This. So
just so we know, I love gay people. Guys, I had to clear it up.
So Ronnie has this big series of like chapter 1, book 5 revelations. I've never read the Bible.
Me neither. I can't fact check it.
Can't fact check that. But trust, I knew the hierogaphy. So Ronnie's had a big day. Everybody's having a big day today in advance of the party that no one wanted.
Yeah. It's literally just so you know, we're gonna get upset towards the end of this because everybody is being horrifically awful.
But the context is that everybody's been going through it.
Yes.
But, like, it's not great.
No, it's not. And then we get Betty and Jughead before the party. And
At Le Bijou.
we're at Le Bijou. And Alice had previously been giving some relationship advice to Betty, which if I was Betty, I would not listen to a word that comes out of that woman's mouth. But she does.
Well, because Betty is like, hey, Mom, when you and Dad first got together, did you tell him everything? Like, what does that mean in a relationship when you love someone? Like, do you share everything, like, out the gate? Or do you, like...
trickle it in?
Or
like
like, how do you go about, like, what level of, like, do you wait till they ask? Like, what is the, like... How did you approach that?
And Alice is like, well, I did tell your father everything, and he turned it all against me.
So I regret that a lot.
So you really should keep some things from Jughead.
You should really, like, have a little bit of a wall always to guard yourself, Betty.
And Betty takes this as an, okay, I'm going to lie to my boyfriend.
Because
he straight up asks her.
Because in advance of the party, well, remember, Chuck has been making these kind of suggestions about, like, oh, what a shame it'd be if people found out about Dark Betty. And so Betty's like, should I tell Jughead?
Or like, what's up?
And the opportunity kind of comes up at the Bijou. They're sitting down for their screening of Animal House, double feature with
American Werewolf in London.
And Betty's like, kind of off, and Juggy's like, hey, I remember, like, Archie was saying that, like, you had, like, a run-in with Chuck at lunch today. I wasn't there for it, but, like, you seemed upset. Like, everything good? And Betty's like, yeah, actually, like, this is your birthday.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, everything is great. I just hate the fact that I had to hear it was your birthday through Archie. She, like, completely turns it on him. I'm like, Betty, what?
And then it's party time.
It is. We go to the party before Jughead does.
And they're setting up. It's Archie, Ethel.
Yeah, Archie, Ethel. So the inner circle, according to Betty, is Archie, Ethel, Joaquin,
Ronnie,
Kevin,
and
Ronnie,
that's it.
And
the 5.
Yeah, that's it. And Vegas.
And
this is at the Andrews house, by the way, because Fred is gone.
Yes. But the reason that Joaquin is there is because Kevin is like,
well, he's my boyfriend.
He's my boyfriend, so he's inner circle. Like, he married into it. And Ronnie's like, fuck, I've had a day. And Archie's already zooted.
And you can look at his face. That is a drunk man.
Look at his arms. Look at his hands.
The claw he's got on that cup.
The claw he's got on Joaquin's bicep.
He's already drunk, and he's like,
Archie's
ready to have a fucking good time.
Archie is in the pits. Ethel is like, do you think there's time if I go to the bathroom? And Kevin goes, hold it, Ethel. And I go,
it's so funny. We're treating Ethel like, you know when you would play family? They're treating Ethel like the one that would be like, okay, so you're going to be the dog.
Yes. We're treating Ethel like the dog.
Yeah. And I was infamously the dog.
I was infamously the dog.
Sometimes the dad.
Sometimes the maid, I was.
Ooh, love that for you.
Come to me.
Hear my call.
You did that really well.
It came out of me. That was really scary, guys. They hear a clatter. They all get ready. It's Ronnie. She comes in looking busted.
Because she's had a day. She's had a full day.
And she's like, do I really look like Jughead Jones to you? It's cray.
It's great. Because everyone was getting ready to be like, surprise! And then it was Ronnie. And they're like, oh. And she's like, oh.
And then a couple seconds later, it's the real deal.
It is Jughead. So Betty and him walk in. He's kind of like, why'd you make me leave the double feature early, Betty? Like, why didn't we get to see American Werewolf? And then Betty's like, because. And everybody goes, surprise! Juggy immediately.
Stone-faced. He fucking hates this. And he says it out loud. He's like, oh, this is why we left.
He goes, I don't want this. Like, if someone said that,
it's awful.
I'd feel so
the
bad.
way that they are ignoring Jughead from here on in the episode pisses me the fuck off. Because it's one thing for people to say, hey, Jughead hates his birthday, but it's another for him to actively be at this party and be like, I don't want to be here. Stop this right now.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody's listening to him because everybody is projecting stuff onto this party.
Yes.
Like, everybody's like, we need a chance to escape. Betty's like, I need to be the perfect girlfriend. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And it comes out here.
I remember this every single day of my life. I'm not even being dramatic. Like, if I think about somebody's birthday, this is the first thing that pops in my head. And if you've ever been at any of my birthday parties, you all know I hate when people sing happy birthday slowly, and this is part of the reason why. Betty comes in Marilyn Monroe-esque with some sort of tort fruit thing that's going on.
No, it's a burger cake.
Oh, that's why it looks like a burger.
Yeah, it's a flat burger.
I see.
A tort.
It looked like a tort, like it had like fruit or something.
Yeah. I
honestly am just paying attention to her.
So it's a burger cake, and
that's at least cute.
It is really cute. Also, we haven't mentioned yet, but Betty's wearing a sweater
like his
with
crown,
Jughead's crown on it. That's so sweet and cunty.
That is cute. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Like for her, only Betty. Just so we're clear, only Betty. The intention is there.
On one hand, she's doing a lot psychologically, though. Because she is projecting a lot of, like...
But at least there is, like, a tiny bit of her that is actually doing this for Jughead.
Yes, what he would want.
Every single other person, and then her throughout the night, is not doing it for Jughead at all.
Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
And it's slow. And it's menacing, and she's walking by, and we get a POV, your Jughead. Oh my God, he looks haunted.
And he says, Betty, that was haunting.
At the end, and she just gives him a kiss. Nobody is listening to this man. He's so like, scary. This is awful.
This is like, we've gone into the Twilight Zone.
We have.
Nobody is hearing what he says.
And she's like, light your candles, big boy. And he does. Because what the fuck else is he supposed to do? And he's like, okay, awesome. And everybody's like, yay. Jughead, let's drink.
So, Ronnie's like, glad we got to sing. Where's your booze, Archie? I don't think she even asks. She literally, like, she knows where the liquor cabinet is, and she's like, okay, time to go do that. She hops into the kitchen to, like, I don't know, get a little glass or something.
And she's crying.
And she is at the sink breaking down because of the day she just had where her father's threatened her. She's realizing that he's maybe a murderer.
Yeah.
Ronnie's crying at the sink when who should walk in but
drunk Archie.
Drunk Archie.
And he's like, why are you crying?
Yeah.
And she's like, my dad, he sucks. Oh my God, my life is hell.
And Archie's like, hey, I feel you. If you want to take a swig, I feel you. I've been taking a little myself. My parents are getting divorced today.
I'm not doing well, but you know what?
Yeah,
you're awesome.
You're awesome.
And he's very much giving the drunk girl in the bathroom when you're crying. Yes. And she's like, no, baby, no. Don't mess up your makeup. You're so hot. That's what he's giving.
That's what he's giving. And apparently Ronnie needed that because they go in for a tender embrace.
It is a tender embrace. He's holding her. She's crying on his shoulder. He's like, my baby, my baby.
Yeah. And well, Jughead walks in.
Oh, I forgot that he walks in.
Yeah, Jughead walks in, Betty in tow, and he's like, oh,
sorry.
Another thing at my party that's just
has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, are y'all good? Like, what's happening? So they kind of like separate.
Yeah, we still are having the Betty Jughead, a Betty Jughead tiff.
Yes.
But it's interrupted by a knock at the door. Who the fuck could be knocking at the door? Nobody else is invited.
Like, who the fuck else is coming to this party?
And Betty's like, I didn't invite anybody else. And who is it?
Dun,
Cheryl,
dun, dun.
Chuck, Moose, everybody. Kegs.
Everyone and their mother. Kegs. Moose asks Archie, hey, where should I put the kegs?
And Archie's like, fuck it. One in the kitchen, one in the backyard.
And that's where you know Archie was not looking out for his sister Jughead.
Oh, no.
Archie was totally gone.
Archie's gone. In replacement, we've got Dark Archie.
We've got Dark Archies on our screen.
And he's a menace. And he's just like, okay, time to get crazy.
Time to get crazy. So yeah, Cheryl busts down the door and is like, you thought you could throw a party without me?
Without moi.
Moi?
Never get it twisted.
Never get it twisted.
Cheryl, Miss Piggy.
Cheryl is
Gonzo is Jughead.
My God, yes. Oh my God, yes.
What if we made Betty Kermit?
Betty is Kermit. Fozzie is Archie. And then...
Who's Veronica? Veronica's that cunt Janice.
That cunt Janice.
That cunt
You thought
Janice.
It would be... Josie is Animal.
Yeah.
Low-key.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay,
I just
we've
needed
done
to
it.
get that out.
We
Yeah.
just needed to get that out.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Jughead retreats to the garage.
Yeah, Jughead
FP
is like, hate.
shows up.
FP shows up. And this is like big because he wouldn't have shown up without Betty. But,
Mhm.
you know.
And it would have been sweet
It
if
would have
these
been sweet.
randos weren't here.
Yeah.
And FP's like, I didn't know you had this many friends.
And Jughead's like, I don't. Thanks for rubbing that in.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even want these people here. I don't want these, like, I don't want friends. I don't want, what are you doing here?
And FP and Archie basically kind of tag team in making Jughead feel like this is because he's dating Betty.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you're dating Betty, so these kinds of things are going to happen. And he's like, what? And they're like, yep, that's it.
This is just like when you have a girlfriend, she's going to do things for you. And like,
you're just going to have to deal with it.
You're just going to have to deal with it.
Disclaimer for anybody watching, not how that works.
And also, I don't think we should be listening in the same way that Betty shouldn't be listening to Alice relationship
We shouldn't
advice.
be listening to Archie for sure, and definitely not FP.
Definitely not FP, yeah, like.
So I don't know why we're listening to these people.
But Jughead's in a state, in a tizzy in the garage.
And thank God FP is here, because otherwise we wouldn't get this amazing scene where Joaquin and Kevin making out. Who's in the corner? We're gonna cover him up. But it's FP.
And
he's saying crazy shit.
So Kevin and Joaquin are in the kitchen, locking lips, searching for each other's tonsils.
Mm-hmm.
And FP leans on the doorway and goes,
like, oh my God.
The sexual tension in here could be cut with a knife, you guys.
And it's like, ew, you're an adult. Get out.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Freaking it on Maine.
He's freaking out on Maine, and FP's like, where's the can? Joaquin, show me.
Yeah.
And Kevin's like, oh, I can. And he's like, no, Joaquin, show me.
Yeah, so
FP starts whisking Joaquin out of the way.
Yeah, up into Archie's bedroom.
And on the way, Ronnie sees this man, goes, who the fuck is that? Why is he
Why
here?
is a 40-year-old serpent here? Iconically, the one that was doing dark-sided deals with her mother.
And Kevin has to break the news to her, even though she is friends with all the people that know this.
Yes.
That he is Jughead's dad.
Yeah.
And a serpent.
So Ronnie's having a great day.
So she's like, oh, fucking great. Okay, somebody find me the fucking keg.
Because
like, what are we doing?
Dad, who I knew was implicated in a murder, is, we know now, implicated with a gang leader.
That's also implicated in the murder.
So
great. Well, then Joaquin and FP are in Archie's room.
Jorking it.
So
FP and Millicent Bystander.
Exactly.
From Fleshed Away.
Sure.
Why did that come to me?
Come to me.
Fleshed Away.
Yeah.
So FP and Joaquin are up in Archie's room. They're gabbing. FP is like, so
You hear anything?
You hear anything? Like, you seem to be getting like pretty deep with that sheriff's son. Like, you're in really deep, Joaquin. And
Joaquin's like, well, no, I did hear something. I did hear something. Veronica knows about the Blossoms sending Hiram to jail. And he's like, okay, that's not good. We need to get them off that trail.
Yeah. So
do we know why this is? No.
And Joaquin, I don't know how much Joaquin actually knows.
I don't think he really knows that much.
But what do we see through Archie's window?
Well,
Our diva
rear windowing it.
In the Cooper house, Alice has got her binoculars staring at this party, I guess, that she hears next door. She sees that it's FP and Joaquin in Archie's room. And she's like,
what the fuck?
Who the fuck?
And then, well, we're in the garage with Betty and Jughead, and we get the monologue, everybody. Betty is down there, and she's like, hey, what the fuck? Why don't you like this? Like, I don't understand.
I'm sorry, but what's up?
Like, I know there wasn't supposed to be this many people, but why weren't you liking it even before that?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, in case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. Have you ever seen me without the stupid hat on? That's weird. Oh,
I don't
my God.
fit in.
And I don't want to fit in.
Yeah.
So we cap off this lovely little monologue with him saying he's from the wrong side of the tracks. And Betty's the perfect girl next door.
And she goes, I hate that word.
Which one? Perfect? Girl next door? Who knows?
It's a lot of words, Betty.
Like,
but,
huh?
But I do hear you because she's very like anti
She's very like,
that.
that's not me.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I know you're just biding your time until Archie decides he actually wants to date you, which is fucking ridiculous.
Insane.
And she starts crying and leaves. Because obviously, like, that's crazy. So she's like, okay, time for me to get drunk.
Yeah. So now everybody's freaking it.
Archie is going up to Valerie.
Archie is
he's drunk,
stumbling everywhere.
And he's doing the classic, which go back together.
I
think we were thinking too rashly.
I love you.
I love you. It's fine. And Valerie's like, fuck you, Archie. Whack. Throws her drink in his face.
And you know what? Valid.
And then for once, we actually have a reason why Archie doesn't have a shirt on. But he goes upstairs and he drunk dials his dad.
Yes.
And he's
he starts like,
you can't break up with mom. Which, like, imagine Fred hearing this conversation.
I'd be so scared. I'd be like, Archie.
I'd be like, oh my God, I need to call the cops.
Yeah. But
he doesn't.
Because before anything else can happen, we're back downstairs.
And Jughead's trying to leave.
Jughead's like, it's been the worst night of my life.
He's at the door, and who the fuck blocks him? This would send me into a blind rage.
Fuck?
Chuck and Cheryl block him from leaving. First off, I'm swinging immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Second off, they're like, time to play Saints and Sinners. And they're like, what the hell is that? And they're like, it's sort of like Truth or Dare, except we just grill you.
Yeah, actually, you can't like opt out of anything.
There's no options. We're just going to pick the person and
then
go
down the list about everything that they've done ever. Cheryl
going
quiets
in.
The crowd. The party has stopped.
Oh, yeah.
We're all listening in.
DJ Dilton Doily has stopped.
DJ Dilton Doily, because fuck all, he's here, by the way.
Oh, and he's the DJ.
He's about to do some fuck-ass shit. So
don't even worry about it.
Dilton.
Fuck everybody at this party.
Everyone at this party. So Cheryl starts going in on Ronnie.
And she's like, I fucking hate you. You suck. Whatever. And Ronnie's like, oh, really, Cheryl? Oh, that's so funny you say that, actually. Because everybody knows you're in love with your fucking brother. And you killed him because he was so upset about the fact that you were in fucking love with him.
He outgrew your twincest.
And she's like, oh my God, crying.
So Cheryl starts crying and a little like, oh, let me dab that up.
And you'd think this would stop things.
Oh, no.
Dilton decides to pop his twink ass mouth. Oh, sorry.
Cheryl and Ronnie are going like toe for toe about like, oh, I bet you're implicated in the murder. Oh, no, I bet you're implicated in the murder. And then Dilton is like, oh, well, you know who's actually probably implicated in the murder? I don't know, like, I saw Miss Grundy's car at Sweetwater River.
Oh, and we all know Archie was there, so put two and two to fucking together. And now
and
everybody knows.
Oh, is that why you suddenly became Mr. Music Man? Were you fucking a teacher, Archie?
And now everybody knows, and Archie is like, oh my God.
Oh,
and they're like,
God.
oh, so were you the victim or the perpetrator?
Oh my God.
My God.
And so
Cheryl, by the way, we do not condone Cheryl's actions in this.
We do not condone Cheryl because this is dark Cheryl.
This is dark Cheryl. And then we're not even getting breather. It's like one after another.
And no one is like standing up and being like,
nobody
is
saying stop this. FP is in the fucking corner listening to all this shit.
Well, I'm sure FP is like, well, let me stay out of it, because if anyone has stuff to air out, it's me. Let me not get strays from these teenagers.
So then Betty at one point is like, oh my God, stop it. And Chuck's like, you should fucking talk, and goes all up in her, and it's like, you dress like a hooker.
You were a ugly ass black wig.
Which we've all been saying.
And he's like, these people don't know. She went all dark dominatrix Betty. She tried to drown me in a hot tub.
She thought she was Polly. She thought I was Jason. It was going fucking crazy. She drugged me.
Wild. She like roofied me with Ronnie.
Which, by the way, they're muscle relaxers, not roofies. Get over yourself, Chuck.
Get over yourself. You were literally fine, Chuck.
You were literally fine. Oh my God. Fine. You were being boiled alive, but you were fine.
You're fine. So then, so now Betty is like losing it.
Right. And
everybody is hearing all of this.
By the way, whole school, basically.
Which is insane. Because
it's so crazy.
Many illegal things are being just like, oh, spill. Oh, spill. Oh, spill.
But again, to be a fly on the wall at this fucking party.
To be a fly on the
my God.
Because I'm sure Val's listening to all this being like,
oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was a rebound from a teacher?
Yeah. Like, all of this is crazy. And Dilton is there. Oh my God.
Oh my God. And this is, by the way, at Jughead's party. So Jughead is finally like, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
So he Dex Chuck.
He, aka his stunt double, because that is not Cole Sprouse in that picture.
Because Jughead, when the Dark Betty stuff came up, he was like, wait, shut up. And then Chuck tries to rebound and it starts going in on Jughead, being like,
I don't even know. Probably calling him a creepy fuck. Who
trash,
knows?
Weirdo, all of that. And so, yeah, Juggy, Dex Chuck.
Dex Chuck and FP now is like,
Now it's like,
everybody,
okay.
wrap it up.
Yeah. They start like going at it. And FP's like pulling them apart. Everybody's like fighting. Everybody's rolling around. Chuck gets a good hit in. And like, whoa. Then
Everybody's
they're all spilling out the front door.
Including Jughead. And FP is like, oh, no, you fucking don't. You need to fucking man up, grow some balls, and talk to your woman. That's literally what he says.
Yes, he's like, from what I just saw, she needs you. Like,
so don't run away like I always fucking do. You man up and own your shit.
Yeah. And while we're outside, while FP's sending Juggy back in, the party, everyone's fled. Everyone's dispersed. The house is like getting emptied out. FP is walking away to like also leave the scene of the crime, essentially. And who's leaned up against his truck? Alice
fucking Cooper.
Alice. And she's like, FP, what are you doing here?
And he's like, shut the fuck up. He's had enough. FP has had enough. He's like us right now, how mad we are at this whole situation. He's like, okay, well, snakes don't shed their skin that easily. Remember how you used to be in the South Side?
Yeah, he's like, you're still hot, Alice. Too bad you're a big old stick in the mug. You used to be fun.
So we get not only the reveal that Alice was a fucking Southside serpent,
but that she used to fool around with FP.
And he's like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Dare I say FP is slaying in this episode?
Dare I say FP is horny for gay on Maine.
Then we get a little post-party pops.
Now, this is where the rest of the episode from here on out is very, like, we're recoiling from all the actions that have taken place.
Yes. They're debriefing.
Jughead's like, hey, so my dad was, like, probably correct that I should be here for you right now. Seems like you've been going through a lot, Betty.
Yeah, seems like I'm going through a lot. I have a tendency to push people away whenever they start getting close to me and being nice to me because I don't know how to handle it.
And I have abandonment issues.
So I push people away before they can push me away. And she's like, well, I love you, bestie. I don't think she says I love you. But she said, you know, she's like, well, I'm here for you.
Like, I'm actively here, trying to be here. Like, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you everything. And I thought that was going to make you go away.
Yeah, and I was trying to be the perfect girlfriend for you.
Yeah.
I was trying to do everything I can, but I'm not perfect. There's this darkness inside me. And I don't know what to do about it.
And she kind of opens up her hands.
And she shows
him her scars.
And what does he do?
He kisses her scars.
Oh my God. If this isn't fan fiction, I don't know what is.
Pretty sad. But
it's sad, but also
they like
sweet.
have mended. We've talked. We finally like worked through everything that was happening in this episode. We cut back to
from one couple we get, well,
the Andrews house.
Who
is left when everyone's scattered? Archie. Who stayed back?
Veronica.
So yeah,
they're kissing. And it's basically they're just like, my life sucks. No, my life sucks. I feel like everything I know is a lie, is what Veronica's saying. And Archie's like, I fuck things up all the time. And they're like, everybody's broken.
Yeah. And so then
it's getting steamy. Archie
Ronnie's
pulls
like
Ronnie on him.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Flash forward to the next morning. She wakes up in his bed. But Archie is not in the bed with her.
He's a gentleman.
Is luckily shirtless.
Sprawled on the floor. Oh my God.
And she gives him a kiss on the cheek and like sneaks out.
She bumps into Jughead, who infamously lives there.
And he's like, I won't tell anybody. My lips are sealed.
Yeah. And she's like, thanks.
Thank you. She goes to the Pembroke.
She's walking home. She walks up to Smithers and she's like, okay, by the way, do you think, like, I know you've worked for my family for like ever. Can you tell me, is my dad a good person?
And he's like, I'd rather not comment on that. And she's like, okay, got it.
And then she says, can you tell me if my mom is a good person?
And he says, unequivocally, yes.
I would say go with your mom.
Yeah. And so she does. She goes on record to be a character witness for Hiram.
To save
Hermione's ass.
It's the morning after. Archie's finally come downstairs, has been
He's cleaning.
which as he should.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
Jughead's not lifting a damn finger, and I wouldn't either.
No, well, he's lifting one.
Well, he's lifting one.
He's lifting one.
He's lifting his little pinky.
Drinking milk from
Drinking
the
milk
carton,
straight from the
eating
carton.
his burger cake for breakfast, and that's kind of cunty. I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, so, Ronnie?
I see that. And Archie's like, yeah, you know, like,
It
don't
wouldn't take anything
say
between
anything.
us,
Like,
but,
don't say
yeah.
anything. Then we get to the school.
Right.
And Veronica, well, she brings Betty pastries. And then she's like, so,
I want to help.
I want to join your investigation. Like, I'm tired of sitting on the sidelines.
I just testified.
I didn't
to
even know
benefit
FP
my
was
father.
Jughead's dad.
Yeah, like it seems like there's a lot going on that it would be helpful if I knew and like was involved with, that I could like aid.
So I'm helping you with the Jason murder
Investigation.
investigation.
And Betty's like, oh my gosh, slay.
And so they're just having a lovely little
Handhold.
Handhold.
In the blue and gold room.
I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah.
And so then after school, Veronica goes home
Yeah.
and Smithers is like, you got a package from your father.
A new set of pearls. Thank you,
Daddy. We cut back to the Andrews household
Yeah.
and, well,
So Fred walks through the door and Archie's like, whoa,
hey, Dad.
Dad.
Didn't know you were coming home. And who's that with you?
Archie's mom.
Molly
Ringwald!
Ringwald!
So Archie had a lot going on in terms of party vibes, but in terms of plot vibes, it's definitely Ronnie's episode.
Ronnie, I mean, and Ronnie got a big boost from the dance off, which is
and
fair.
from kissing Archie.
And that's okay.
And that's
I
hey,
love that for her.
I gave that to her.
And Betty, she's lovely. We love her.
Betty, she's lovely.
Jughead, he's neck and neck with Archie.
He caught up with Archie this episode because this was a big Jughead episode.
Yeah, which as it should be.
He's weird. He's a weirdo.
And you know what?
Cheryl is gaining quite a lead on Betty in a
Mhm.
scary way, but she was a big menace this episode.
She was
bad,
huge,
dark Cheryl.
bad. She's in the corner. She's in a timeout.
She's in the like throes of compat. A big episode, and it was centralized on our core four.
Our double-digit episode.
And she is the mom on this.
And she is mother.
She is mother. But yeah,